Okay, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let's see here. You could find us at 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700. You can email me at chief@fetchyournews.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at FetchYourNews or at FYNTV. Don't forget, go to fetchyournews.com for all of your local news in North Georgia. We are growing daily, our content. You go to the county, pick your county at the top, pick it, click on there, click on news. If you just click on news, you can keep scrolling through it. Click on sports, community, whatever. But check out fetchyournews.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is FYNTV, Fetch Your News YouTube channel, and it'll tell you anytime we have a live show or a recorded show that we've posted, you'll get a notification. So you can follow us on Instagram, right? And what is that? Just Fetch Your News? I mean, I don't know. They don't let me in. Instagram, there you go. We got all of them. If it's there, if it's happening, Rose and Sam got it going on. Okay, well, I was trying to explain to the control room a little bit of Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas during the break. Had to be careful there. Oh, caution. Proceed with caution on that one, right? Okay, the RNC, let me get a drink of water. That's for you-know-who out there. You always get mad when I take a drink of water right on the air. I get a message. Anyhow, the RNC has pulled their support for Roy Moore. No more money, okay? They have boots on the ground. Not in Syria. Obviously, the government has lied to you once again. Boots on the ground in Syria, like they did in Vietnam. But let's move past that. The RNC have removed their people on the ground in Alabama to work for Roy Moore. They have removed the funding for Roy Moore. The Republican Party has left the building, all right? They only pretended to support Roy Moore in the first place. Remember that. Only pretended to support Roy Moore in the first place. They made a showing, okay? Because my opinion is this is all orchestrated. And I've told you this for days. I brought up for the last 2 days. Is today Wednesday? Yes. I brought up for the last 2 days almost every single thing that you're hearing on other shows throughout the day. All right? Told you this. The Republicans only gave the impression. There was just the look like we're here for you, Roy. But see, when Luther Strange lost, Mitch McConnell's determination to end Roy Moore, it did not, you know, it was just there. It wasn't going away. Okay? So the Republican Party has backed out totally, and they were never in it. Don't believe they were ever in it, okay? It was a show. So Roy Moore's totally on his own. It's him and the people of Alabama. So here's a couple things that they're trying to do. All right? Just so you know. You keep hearing write-in candidate, and you hear Lisa Murkowski. Okay, we can't go back, but Lisa Murkowski was a write-in candidate in Alaska. She lost the primary, okay? She ran a write-in candidate campaign and won. This goes a while back. So they're talking write-in candidate. Because what they want you to believe, what they want the people of Alabama to believe, is that voting for Roy Moore is a waste of their vote. That's what they want them to believe. There's two things they want to accomplish with the write-in candidacy, and they want to make sure that every Republican comes out against him and then say he will be unseated. They would just cost Alabama. See, Alabama's went through a lot. You have the former governor there that was chasing some girl around the office wanting to kiss. Nice. What the hell? That's the truth. Look it up. The former Bentley, is it Bentley or Bennett? He was a former governor of Alabama. He was chasing a girl around the office wanting to kiss. It's like, you know, playing smoochy, and the people of Alabama, they impeached him and they got him out of office. Which, let's put up the new governor there, Kay Ivey. This is a new governor because I'm going to go over all the details in Alabama, what you're up against, folks, because this doesn't end. So here's Kay Ivey. She is the governor that took the place of, I think his name is Bennett. She is the current governor of Alabama, Kay Ivey. Now, the impression the media wants you to have, she has, and we'll take her picture down, while I have Kay Ivey up, governor of Alabama, she has the ability to move the election. She could move the election. She could decide the election's going to be on a different date, okay? But, hold on. It was Bentley? Okay. So, one, the governor of Alabama has the ability to move the election. It's December 12th. Governor says Alabama Senate election will be, and this was published November 12th, will be on December 12th. Okay, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey says that she has no plans of moving the upcoming U.S. Senate election in which the Republican candidate faces allegations of sexual misconduct. All right, so she can move the election. She's not going to. On with the show. So you can go ahead and take her down. The point is, now, they're determined to get enough saturated news in Alabama to the voters that if elected, Roy Moore is going to cost them millions of dollars, because here's what's going to happen. Now, trust me, we've got till December 12th. They will start reporting, if elected, he's going to be unseated. The odds are, all the round tables, what are the odds are? Oh, definitely he's going to be unseated, and this is going to be bad for Alabama. And the poor people in Alabama just don't deserve this. They just went through Bentley, the kissing governor that they had to throw out. And, you know, they lost their Senator Jeff Sessions, Beauregard. They love Beauregard. And they, you know, Luther Strange, they made a mistake and didn't bring him back. And the people of Alabama just don't deserve to go through this. Watch, they're going to commiserate with the people of Alabama. They're going to feel their pain to the point that they're going to say, and if they go vote this guy in, and they may vote him in, it's just going to cost the misery and the citizens of Alabama millions of dollars, because the Senate is going to remove him with 2/3. See, the Senate will seat him, but then they can remove him with a 2/3 vote. Well, the Senate's just going to remove him with a 2/3 vote, and then guess what happens? Now you got Alabama back running again, and it's going to cost millions of dollars to the state to set up an election. And this kind of election statewide costs $6-7 million, whatever, right? So they're going to commiserate. They're going to convince the people of Alabama, A, to write in a candidate, okay, because they've wasted their vote for Roy Moore. That's what they're doing now, all right? There'll be a little less on the allegations. Don't take that wrong. It's not the allegations will go away. But the Senate candidates, what they'll do is convince the write-in. So they'll try to get a couple write-in candidates, okay? So that way there's at least enough taken away from Moore to where the Democrat would win. Because right now, there's a 7% undecided as they're calling. So they can get a 10% write-in campaign, 10 to 12. And guess what that does? That elects the Democrat. So that's A. Or B, if he gets elected, convince the people not to vote for him and vote for the Democrat, because it's just going to cost them down the road another election for another Senate term that's going to cost them millions. That's what they want. That's what they're going to do. They're going to work very hard to do that. Now, the other school of thought here is that they want him to get elected. Do you realize if Roy Moore gets elected, and this stays in the news, and he goes to D.C., because in a special election, they don't wait till January. You get elected, the Secretary of State certifies your election. As soon as it's certified, it's sent up to the Senate, okay? And as soon as it's set up there, they get a, hand on the Bible. Maybe Roy Moore missed a couple of those thou shouts, okay? But they get the hand on the Bible, and you're a senator. You can be a senator within 3 days after the election, sworn in, ready to vote. That'll keep it in the news. And then there'll be the hearings to remove him. And then they'll bring the ladies up, and the crying, and the gnashing of teeth, everything. And these senators that are so sad for them, and how anybody can mistreat these women. And then the women's movement, not women's movement, let's see. Then the women could see just how bad these white male Republican Steve Bannon candidates are. It's all a plan. It's all a plan. I'm your host, BKP. I'm going to take a brief break. We are not done with this. You know, I was thinking about when he trapped her in the car and locked the door. You see, here's the thing. I lived in that space age time of 1977. What kind of car was it? Was it a Buick? I think Roy's kind of guy to drive Buick. Wasn't a Cadillac. That's just a little too pushy. May have been an Oldsmobile. I'm your host. I'll be right back after these messages. $8:51 this morning, and Roy Moore is still a candidate for Senate in Alabama, but you know, I'm a little disappointed. I'm just a little disappointed, okay? Let me tell you why. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. If you've just joined us, 706-889-9700. If you would like to text the show. If you'd like to email me, chief@fetchernews.com. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. We're on Instagram, FYNTV Instagram, Team FYN Sports Instagram, Fetcher News Instagram. Go to FetcherNews.com. Click on all the counties. There you go. Now let's get back to this. All right. We're going to talk Jim Jordan. Don't go nowhere, folks. We got over an hour left. Jim Jordan yesterday, Republican Ohio, 4th District. We're going to talk about that because I'm just going to play that video. I got to thinking this morning, do I cut it? Do I play a minute? It is 5 minutes long. We're just going to play it because it is just going to say to you, Jeff Sessions has to go. All right. You may think he did not show his hand or he got something up his sleeve, but I'm concerned that he has to go. So she said, this lady, Nelson, said that he had her, okay, he had her in the car and she couldn't get out because the door was locked. Now, I think we should check the car out. Because back in the old days, you just had a button that pushed up and down. In 1977, you had a button with a little knob. Now, I will tell you this. That was back in the day when locking the keys in the car, you get that coat hanger and you could get that button on the top and you could pull it up. Now, your test was if you could take that coat hanger and slide it down in and catch that button and put enough pressure to pull that button up with a coat hanger. Just say it. Just say it. You remember those days? Oh, man, lock the keys in the car. Who has a coat hanger? You know, they weren't airtight. You can get to the top and pull the window back just enough, get that coat hanger and get that button. 1977. Wasn't a car made that you basically couldn't get that button, even if he had driving a Cadillac. So if Roy Moore reached over and locked that door, if he took one hand off the lady to try to grope her, you know, I don't know. What about pull the boom out? I don't know. Just checking. Just checking. See, there was electric windows and all that stuff. There was electric windows and everything like that, but door locks. Now, we had electric door locks, something that pop up, pop back down, but that's about it. But that didn't prevent you, okay? You didn't have to hit an electric button to unlock a door back then. Just saying. The door lock wasn't on the handle back then. Just saying. Just saying. I don't think there was a car made that you couldn't open with a codex. So she says he trapped her in the car and locked the door. She couldn't get out. Okay. All right. Okay. So, folks, before we move to Jim Jordan and some other things we have going on this morning, the media, remember what I'm saying, the media, Republicans have convicted Roy Moore in one day. In one day they convicted him. And the Democrats, media Democrats. The yearbook, handwriting samples are being tested. He got banned from the mall. How did we find these people from the restaurant and the mall and trailer park? Now, if you were truly investigating Roy Moore, and if you were, I'm tired of hearing journalism, okay, and Washington Post, okay, I told you on Monday, right here on the show, I told you, what they do is they go in and they go to every gas station, restaurant, anybody, all right? You see, as the district attorney, and I don't know if this has been brought up, but do you think you ought to look into, just saying, as a district attorney, do you think you ought to look into some of these girls' cousins or friends or ex-boyfriends? Maybe the district attorney convicted one of them? I don't know. Maybe one of these young girls' uncle, you know, Uncle Eddie. Everybody got damn Uncle Eddie, right? Who don't have Uncle Eddie? Raise your hand. That's right. So everybody's, maybe Uncle Eddie. Maybe Uncle Eddie, Roy Moore, district attorney, drug case, convicted him. Just saying. Don't know. Because you see, every time, I love when people hate the judge. That's okay. There's good reason not to like some of the judges. There's good reason not to like the district attorney sometimes. But you got to always remember, when the judge gives down a verdict, half of the people in the room on one table don't like the judge. The other table likes the judge. You have them walking out of the courtroom every day. One side, well, I know that judge, man, they just wanted to send me up the river. You know, that judge, you know, they're not fair. This was all fixed. And then the other one's walking out of the room. You know, I've always trusted that judge. I've always thought that that judge was straight up. What the hell? So I want to say this is a DA, okay? And this may have been a economic sector of the area that had business in the DA's office quite often. Now, the mother of the 14-year-old was supposedly in there on child support. Maybe the mother wanted Roy Moore to throw the low-life dad in jail. I don't know. You understand? So supposedly in there on child support, Roy Moore says, you don't want to take your daughter in there to hear all that nonsense. I'll just sit with her out here. And the next thing you know, 40 years later, Roy Moore, you know, touched her inappropriately and got a date with her. Keep in mind, he's district attorney. You see, they're finding the people in the restaurant. They're finding the people from the mall. The guy who worked the record shop. They're finding the trailer park people. Where are the accusers in his political career? So if you truly Washington Post want to go down and investigate, keep in mind he's the DA. He's the DA, folks. So a lot of people don't like the DA, especially if their uncle or their cousin did time. I would take all four of these women. I would look at any of their criminal background in this particular district when he's DA, or I would look at some of their friends, uncles, moms, dads that may have went before the DA and been prosecuted. I would look at that. And then I would go through all of his professional career and I would find the other side. And when you find the other side to corroborate this side of the tracks, sorry to put it that way, some of you don't like that side of the tracks comment, but when you find that, then come back. Now, I'm a little disappointed in Sean Hannity for one reason. Sean interviewed Roy Moore. Roy Moore had, okay, Roy Moore had attorney answers, which he is an attorney, and he's former Chief Supreme Court Justice in Alabama. Roy Moore had attorney answers, and he did attorney answers with Sean. And I, for one, did not like all of his answers with Sean Hannity. But Sean, you know, came under attack himself. And you stood up for Sean. Sean came under attack, and he fought it. He didn't do a Bill O'Reilly. You know, he didn't do that, okay? He fought it. But Sean came under attack, and you supported him. Sean Hannity has given Roy Moore 24 hours to clarify his answers to him or get out. It's even coming from Sean Hannity, to get out. So I'm not for sure. I'm not saying Roy Moore's innocent. I'm not 100%. I'm just saying there's a whole lot here to look at, folks. Whole lot to look at. Because what they're going to do is 2018. If this guy gets elected, this goes all the way into 2018. Because we find out yesterday $15 million has been paid to settle sexual harassment suits in Congress. That's right, your tax money. All right? There's a creeps list. I've told you what they're going to do. State houses, Senate houses, governor mansions. There's a creep list. The creep list is going to go through the states. Now, the Democrats cannot. I'm going to repeat this from yesterday. I'm going to look you right in the camera and tell you. Democrats cannot go into the Deep South and stand on a stage and say, vote for me, no matter the office, vote for me. I'm in favor of raising your taxes. I'm in favor of free college for everybody, because you know who's going to pay for it. I'm in favor of rewriting the Second Amendment. I'm in favor of your tax money paying for abortion, okay? I am pro-choice. I am in favor of LGBT. Now, I'm not going, we're not right or wrong. I'm just saying what Democrats cannot do. I'm in favor of no such thing as a religious liberty bill. Because of the LGBTQ community, they cannot give you a list. I'm in favor of health care for everybody, a one-payer system. They cannot stand on the stage and give you that list and get elected. They can't. So they got to do it by other means. Get ready. I call it 2018, maybe 2018 election may be the smack on the ass election. Because if you smack somebody on the ass, you're going to be in trouble. I'm telling you right now, don't get mad at me. I don't know why the hell you keep getting mad at me. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what they have done. All right, you know the Senate now has to have all this sexual harassment training, right? They have to, and they got to get a certificate. It's like when they're done. I want to see them all out there. Send Joe Biden to this. I want to see Joe with his certificate. They got to go to sexual harassment classes, yes, okay? And at the end, they'll get a certificate, and you'll be able to go to a website and see that you're a congressman and senator. They may not repeal Obamacare. Oh, my God. They may not repeal Obamacare. They may not pass tax reform. They may not do a damn thing. But you'll have a website that you can go read their certificate where they passed and completed so many hours of sexual harassment training. You can't make this up, all right? I'll tell you what they have done. They've ruined the damn office Christmas party. You know that thing is boring. I mean, you know, here's what they want. They want the office Christmas party to look like the 7th grade dance, where the boys are on one side of the gym and the girls are on the other side of the gym, and you did not dare to ask one to dance. You just looked across the gym, because that's all the hell you can do now. It's go to the office party and look across the gym, because you sure, office party's over, Jack. That Christmas office party, whoo, that's boring. All right, but it's a whole different story on Nachos Thursday. Listen, what about the one where she says, I'm thinking, I was cracking up. I know you're going to say this is not a laughing matter. But the staffer went to the representative, or went to a representative, no name, house to deliver some papers after hours. Okay. So staffer shows up at a representative's house to deliver papers after hours. So the representative, whoever it may be, comes to the door in a towel and drops the towel. So maybe he thought it was the pizza guy. You know? I mean, I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something, okay? You ready for too much information? Right? I'm going to give you too much information. I'm going to go there. In my entire life, I never went to the damn door in a towel. Never went in a towel. Never. Just say it. I always loved it. Who the hell goes to the door in a towel? Sorry, just say it. Be careful. You don't want to say Pizzagate, pedophile. You don't want to do that, do you? Joe Biden. Now, I hope you pass the certificate and get the certificate, because you're a creep. Joe Biden, you are a creep. I would not let you around any child that I'm aware of, because I don't want you rubbing their shoulders over and over. Take us to break, Sam. Jim Jordan asking Jeff Sessions for a special prosecutor or counsel right after this.